Man, it's cold outside today, but I'll tell you what, it's the perfect day to do a Dragon Link deck profile, because every time you play the deck, it gives you chills. What's going on, guys? Budget Competitor here, and today I'm going to be bringing you a deck profile for my Dragon Link deck that I've been playing for a minute. I've been putting the deck together for roughly about a month now, and it's recently become meta again after taking first place at the LCS 3v3 that took place just at the very end of January, as well as many top cuts and first place finishers all around, locals, online events, just everywhere. This deck is insane. I am playing the least liked version, which is the VFD version, but I personally like it. It's really good, and it can really set up some good boards. But before we get into that, I have two announcements to make. Today is my wife's birthday, so if any of you guys would like to shout her out, be sure to post in the comment below, "Happy birthday, Shelby." That would be awesome if you guys did that. And second of all, on Sunday, February 28th, I will be attending the Remote Duel Extravaganza. I will leave a link in the description box below for you guys to check out if you guys would like to register for the event. And if you guys plan on attending the event, please be sure to comment below that you guys will be attending. It would be awesome if I got the chance to play against some of you guys. But with that, let's go ahead and jump right into it. Alright guys, so we're going to go ahead and jump into the deck profile, but there is a few things that I'll talk about as I go along. This is not the finished product that I will be running in the event that I announced earlier, the Remote Duel Extravaganza. Still waiting on a few extra cards to come in, and I decided to make a few extra changes from different duels that I had at locals last Friday. A duel I like to talk about in particular is when I went against a Virtual World, which was piloted by Maxwell Nugent. I'm probably pronouncing your name wrong, man. I'm sorry, but extremely good duels to play against, and he was able to beat out my VFD and then set up his board with two VFDs. So it was just a very back and forth match. It was really fun. But yeah, we'll just kind of talk about the different changes that I want to make going along the way. So let's just go ahead and jump right into things. So I'm running 3 copies of Starlead Seifert. Obviously, this is one of your key starters that you want to play with. Really good. Normal summon. It does eat a normal summon, but being able to get into your Collapse Serpent is really good to continue your plays. And then the other starters that I play is two Black Metal Dragon, which will be up to 3. It's one of the cards that I'm waiting on. And then, of course, his target being Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon. These two are still really, really good cards for the deck. Summoning this, going into your Striker Dragon, and then adding this to your hand to then banish the Striker Dragon, summon this, and then bring this back. That's full combo right there. And a lot of people said that Dragon Link is dead. It's really not dead. It did lose some consistency, which is why I've been trying out some different things, and we'll kind of get into those here in a minute. And then the last of the starters that also act as extenders is 3 copies of Tracer. This card's, it's pretty good. You really don't want to see this as a starter, but it'll get you going, at least for the most part. So those are your starter cards. So for your extenders, something that I've been trying out and I've actually been enjoying is just 3 copies of Thunder Dragon. That's the only Thunder Dragon that I run. I'm not trying to get a whole Thunder Dragon package, but this actually comes in handy because, especially when you're going to your Abomination combo with your Appaloosa and Spheres, you're going to need extra discards. So if you have this left in hand with like your World Legacy Guard Dragon, obviously you don't want to discard this, so you can just, pitch this out of your hand, get the other 2 to your hand. You just got yourself an additional discard, which, did actually come up a few times, so that was really nice. And then onto the extenders, pretty much going from best extender to worst. Is obviously the Collapse Serpent with the Wyver Buster. Just the most amazing extender that there is for this deck. You know, and then there's actually a combo that you can do where you start off with your Chaos Space, get one of the other to your hand, banish whatever's in your graveyard, summon one of them, link it off, get the other one to your hand, and then you can banish one of them to summon the other one. And then before you do anything with this, activate your Chaos Space, banishing itself, so you can shuffle one of them back into the deck, or place on the bottom of the deck, draw a card, so that way when this gets linked off, you can then chain block by using whichever one you didn't use to get the other one back to your hand. Like say you're going into your Romulus, obviously you don't want that to get ashed. Then it's 2 copies of Absterrator Dragon and 2 copies of Noctivision Dragon. These two are really, really good. Absterrator is something you always want to try to pitch from your hand off of Ravine, but it's not the worst thing in the world to send it from the deck, but you would rather, you know, obviously send this to the graveyard from your hand. That way you could get something like your Omni Dragon Brotar to the graveyard as well. Then you can add your Tracer to your hand, and the Noctivision's actually really good. I know there's a couple people I was talking to that actually said that this card's bad, but it's not. I mean, it's a free special summon, and then it's a free draw when you link it off. So there's obviously nothing wrong with that. And you do draw a lot with this deck, actually. And then we have the Omni Dragon Brotar, and of course its target being the Chaos Dragon Levianeer. Really, really good. Levianeer, I don't think I ever drew into this card once, but I did draw into Brotar a couple times, so that kind of sucked. But it actually ended up working out because you get Ravine, you pitch this, and you can send your Absterrator, and it's basically doing the same thing, just reversed. But yeah, these 2 cards, obviously they're really, really good. 1 copy of Tempest with its target being Crusadia Draco. This is something that I got an idea from the Kali effect, so shout out to him for this idea. But this actually is really good, because if you can make your Trishula, banish this, add the Crusadia Draco to your hand, you can special summon it. So I mean, that's a really, really good extender, just a free banish. But if you draw into Tempest, that's a total brick. You can't really do anything with that. And then Galaxy Spiral Dragon. This never came up once. I never actually got it into my hand. If I did, obviously it's a great, you know, way to special summon itself. But it never came up, and so I thought about cutting it. I haven't decided on that yet. But I guess it's there. But considering that it never came up, probably just going to end up cutting it. And then rounding off the Rocket monsters, I have 2 copies of Silver Rocket, 2 copies of Rocket Synchron, the 1 Recharger, and the 1 Magna Rocket. It is a lot of rocket targets, but if you get into a grind game, you're going to need to bring your Tracer back, and you have to get, you know, these guys out somehow. So obviously 2 Synchron is mandatory. I know people are running just 1 rocket with these 2, with 1 Silver Rocket with these 2, but this actually does come up quite a bit, at least at my locals. So having 2 is nice. Plus, if you know, get 1 into your hand along with your Tracer that you'll add off of Absterrator, then that's 2 free special summons off of your Boot Sector launch. And then these 2, they're level 4s, so they're great for your your level 8 synchros. So that's going to do it for the Dragon monsters. And then it's the hand traps, which is 2 Ash, 2 Nibiru, and 1 Droll and Lockbird. And then the last 2 hand traps being the Imperms. So I'm going to keep the Imperms in the deck. I think I'm going to move this to the side deck. I'm going to definitely get a second Droll, because that's actually really good against Drytron, because if they can't add anything under their hand, like if, you know, they activate Alpha, pitching something, and then they add the Ritual spell, I believe, then you go ahead and use this, and then they can't add anything else to their hand. They can't add a Ben 10 or anything. So that's great. Imperm's going to stay. Ash is going to stay. These 2 I'm going to replace for what's in the side deck at the moment, which is the Ghost Ogre. They're really good against dealing with VFD in a way. It gets rid of VFD. It doesn't get rid of the permanent 1-turn negate, but it does at least get it off the field, so you can at least, you know, maybe activate Ogre, set these two, set an Imperm hopefully, and then just hopefully they're not able to come back from that. Still working it out. Another card I'm going to be adding to the deck is Dark Ruler No More. Shout outs to Mason. That's something that he's running it in his Infernoble Knight build. If you guys want to check that out, I'll leave a link to that in the description box below. But that's really, really good. I believe Logan was running it also. I'll have to go back and check, but I'll go ahead and leave a link in that video for you guys to check out as well. Next, for the spells, for our starters, we have 3 copies of Chaos Space. Like I said before, this is really good to get your Collapse Serpent or your Wyvern Buster to your hand, and then banish this so you can draw a card and then chain block with one of them, because once you've used it, you really don't need to use it again. And then Quick Launch, which also acts as a extender. I will also be adding a 3rd Quick Launch. That's just another one that I'm waiting on. For the extender spells, I'm running 3 copies of World Legacy Guard Dragon. The 1 copy of 1 for 1. I know some people aren't running this, but if you only have like Silver Rocket or something in your hand and you don't really have any place past that, you can just go ahead and use this to get your Black Metal Dragon onto the field and then get full combo from there. The 1 copy of Monster Reborn, that's absolutely mandatory, especially post the December ban list with Link Cross getting banned. You have to figure out some way to play through Disruption, because your opponent is going to try to Nibiru you. And then of course the 1 Dragon's Ravine and the 1 Boost Sector Launch. The last spell and the last card in the main deck is the one called by. Can't wait for this card to come back to 3. It's just a great way to you know, play through Ash and other hand traps and such. So for the extra deck, space is relatively tight. So run 2 copies of Striker Dragon. Guess we'll just place those there. Obviously, this is your starting Link monster. That's what you always want to go into. Even if you have the Boot Sector Launch, it's a great way to get your Wyvern Buster into the grave, your Black Metal Dragon into the grave. But yeah, that's absolute mandatory to have it 2, maybe even 3. The 1 Guard Dragon LP with the Pisty. The 1 copy of Romulus, just a really, really good Link 2. Gets you Ravine, and if you're playing the Dragoonity package, then yeah, it gets you that too. The Proxied, Crystron Hakla Fibrax. I really do see this card getting banned on the next list. If this card and LP gets banned, then yeah, Dragon Link's gonna die. But Hakla Fibrax is just really, really good. You know, getting out your Rocket Synchron and then going into your Guard Dragon plays. The 1 copy of Spheres, I actually picked this up on Friday after the locals, so I wasn't able to use it, but shout outs to Chris, thanks man for hooking me up with this. Even in testing, this card is just godly. I mean, you could go with Appaloosa, Spheres, and then even a Burrowload Savage, and that's enough to just pretty much end the game. Or this with Abomination is absolutely ridiculous, because if your opponent summons a monster, tribute Spheres to bring back, or to summon a Rocket Tracer effect to pop your field spell, Abomination pops another card on the field. That's just really good. This is the MVP of the deck right there. That could definitely save you in a lot of situations. And then the last Link 2s is 1 Quad Burl and 1 Delangerous. I know people really aren't playing Delangerous very much, and I don't really understand why, because Delangerous is super good card. And for those of you that don't know what the effect does, so Delangerous, if it's in the graveyard and a rocket monster or monsters is special summoned, you can special summon this back to your field. So basically, you could link these 2, activate Quad Boral's effect, discounting our card to destroy Delangerous, special summon 2 rockets, this comes back to the field. And then you can link these 2 into your Abomination or an Appaloosa or whatever. That's the main way you make your Abomination with Appaloosa and Spheres play. Those 2 cards are just really good. I would definitely not want to play this deck without it. For the Link 4s, I'm playing the 1 Appaloosa. Definitely a must-have for the deck, and then the one copy of Abomination. Abomination, I know some people are playing it, some people aren't. If you're playing Spheres, pretty much everyone is. I feel like you should at least play this. Even if you don't play Dangerous, you can still go into Abomination in many different ways, but, you know, it's just so good. I mean, how can you pass up on, 2 card pops? Card gets destroyed by card effect battle, pop. During the end phase, pop. It's just really good. Another proxy, pretty much the only proxy that's left, is the Borreload Savage Dragon. Best level 8 synchro in the entire game. Having just easy Omni negates is broken. And then for the package that nobody likes, but I love it, is the one copy of Ravenous Crocker Dragon. This card is actually really good because in the VFD combo, once you're able to make him, you draw 2 cards and you can draw an extender and just extend even further past your VFD setup. Your one copy of Trishula, because it rips a card out of your opponent's deck, extra deck, as well as you can banish your Tempest to get your Crusadia Draco to your hand, and then special summon it. So that's a really good combo. And then the one card that I talked a lot of crap on my channel. So yes, I'm being a hypocrite, but True King of All Calamities, it's so good. And I figured, you know what, instead of just, talking crap on it, why don't I just go ahead and play it, because it's going bye-bye in the March 1st ban list. So everybody knows that this card's going away. So even past this point, if Dragon Link remains untouched, I'm probably going to redo the extra deck, but if I don't, I'm going to play the new rank 9 that came out of the Blazing Vortex set. Blanking on the name, but I'm sure someone in the comments would be so kind as to let me know what the name of that card is. So that's the end of the extra deck. And then on to the side deck, that will be changed quite a bit, is the 3 copies of Lancia. So good against Virtual World. 2 copies of Effect Veiler. I may change this out for something else. I would like to run the Ally of Justice Cycle Reader. I would definitely run that in place of these, but it's like $10 a copy. So the 2 copies of Ghost Ogre, this will be going in the main deck. But yeah, this stops VFD. It can stop your opponent's, well, not really stop it, but it can get rid of your opponent's like Herald of Ultimateness or something. And then that's the other thing that Effect Veiler is good for, is your opponent's Vanity Ruler. It's another thing it's good for. The 3rd copy of the Ash, might change this out for something else, because I really don't like running 3 of each hand trap anymore. Not in this format anyway. Like back in, the 2019, 2020 formats. Yeah, definitely run 3 of each, but I feel like it's actually more consistent if you run 2 of each, because there's so many hand traps, so many different decks. This used to be able to stop Salmagrate, Orcust, and a few others, but now you're going to need more than just an Ash and a few other hand traps. This is just a filler for right now, but Pankratops, it is a good card, but doesn't nearly carry as much weight as it once did. And then the 3rd copy of Infinite Impermanence. Probably will keep this in the side deck, because Infinite Impermanence is one of those things where it can definitely come up, and it's not even just a hand trap, it's obviously a trap. So if you draw 2 and you're not even able to combo off, you can still set this, and this is not a once per turn, so you can negate multiple effects. 3 copies of Twin Twisters. This is something I will keep. This is definitely good against Zodiac, Eldritch. It's a good way to get their traps off the field. And then another thing that's good against Eldritch and Zodiac is the Cosmic Cyclone. Card's just so good about just getting it banished, done with, and you don't even have to worry about it anymore. But I'm sure that Eldritch is going to get hit on the next ban list, so probably going to change the Cyclones out for something else once that comes up. And then of course the token. And so that is it for the deck profile. I appreciate everyone who tuned in. If you guys are new to the channel, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Click that notification bell so you get notified each time I drop a new video. And make sure that you smash that like button. At the time of recording this video, we're at 62 subscribers. We're trying to hit 100 by the end of the month. So that's 38 subscribers to go. So let's try to hit that goal. And for everybody watching at home, have a great day.